Trafford for the 141st Manchester derby. It's the Cup. We're interactive. Press your red button. The player cam is on a man who's played in 5 FA Cup finals already, Roy Keane. Here's Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Ian. Playing his first FA Cup tie. City's new defender, Daniel van Buyten, 1.97 m tall. He maybe can exploit the uncertainty of Manchester United's defending in the air. 5 of the last 6 goals conceded by Manchester United have been to headers. Well, no Premiership points for either side of Manchester on Wednesday. Not for the first time United have had problems with Middlesbrough and his old sidekick Steve McLaren. Not for the first time Manchester City have lifted the hopes of their fans with a goal, only to let the opposition in for a winner a couple of minutes later. It's the nature of Manchester City. Important for Manchester United that Gary Neville's influence is back on display in their back line. It reads Gary Neville, O'Shea, Silvestre, Fortune. And it's a problem caused, one suspects, Andy, by the absence of Rio Ferdinand. Saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there as well. He's not quite ready for a return, but not far away. Jeff Winter in his last season has never done the FA Cup final, but if he doesn't get it this year, this is not a bad consolation. Manchester United, the most successful club in the history of the FA Cup. 10 wins, but since their last in 1999, they've not got beyond this round. They were knocked out in it, on this ground, by Arsenal a year ago.
Always never ceases to amaze me how the difference in atmosphere in this ground when you play a cup tie as opposed to a league match. The 9,000 fans, of course, makes a huge difference.
Well, the flag went up, and Jeff Winter, for a second, tried to give Manchester City an advantage, stopped the play, and Sibierski, a lot said about offside, of course, over the last 10 days or so from an incident on this ground. A goal by Ruud van Nistelrooy that triggered off a debate about the interpretation of the law.
It'd be interesting to see if Manchester City gets somebody around Paul Scholes when he plays deep, when he drops off the play. They've got the extra man in central midfield, and it might just be that Claudio Reyna is asked to keep a little eye on Scholes when they don't have the ball, Manchester City.
3-1 the league game here in December, and it's only a couple of weeks or so until the return when Manchester United go to the City of Manchester Stadium for the first time. Well, it will be the first time, providing, of course, it's not a replay in this FA Cup confrontation. Árni Arason, goalkeeper who came from nowhere into the limelight at White Hart Lane, particularly in the second half. Here's Giggs. Plenty of recollections again in the local newspapers here about Ryan Giggs' time as a schoolboy with Manchester City until he was 14 when Sir Alex Feguson made a legendary visit to the Giggs household, and the rest, as they say, is history. Fortune. Distin just waiting. Here's Reyna. It's a painful challenge on the American by Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Well, it wasn't a very good challenge at all. And had it not been the 3rd minute of the match, we might well be seeing a yellow card. Ruud van Nistelrooy will probably just get the benefit of the doubt from Jeff Winter because of the so early, but he comes in very late here. Striker's tackle, I suppose, the best way to describe it.
He's been watching Paul Scholes. Here's Barton. Shaun Wright Phillips was really the star, I think, in that recovery at Tottenham. They were a man light. He played as Shaun Wright and Shaun Phillips to make up that deficit, and the turnaround will never be forgotten. There'll be Tottenham fans, maybe even Tottenham players watching today thinking, why aren't we at Old Trafford? How did it slip away? Fowler slips the ball away to Barton. McManaman. Good Merseyside connection with that trio. Handball.
Oh, got a little tight there, but they got a little bit of luck with the handball. I always think in a situation like this, early in the game, no matter how far out you are, this is worth working the goalkeeper.
Just a little bit further out when Turner lofted that ball onto Distin's head for the vital first goal at Tottenham in the fourth round replay.
He was taking a big enough run up, Turner. Sibierski closer.
Sibierski takes the deflection on it, and it'll be a corner.
Don't think it ever had the power to struggle the goalkeeper.
So Tarnat to take it.
So we find out attention to detail, set plays. City undoubtedly have worked on them this week.
And Silvestre heads away from Manchester United. That's a better sign. Back by Reyna. Silvestre goes again. Flag is up as Fowler runs in behind Philip Neville. Of course, there's attention to detail for Manchester United as well. And defending is about detail and putting theory into practice. Concentration. Manchester United have lost that.
Particularly set plays. If you're losing goals from set plays, Martin, and certain people are not doing their job 100%.
Well, there were three at Goodison, which Dunne's old stomping ground. And of course, Juninho was allowed to sneak in at the near post to head the second Middlesbrough goal. He also headed the first, but I don't think we can put that down to a set play. Ball bounced back down off the crossbar. He could have put it in with pretty much any part of his body. Fortune.
Well, Richard Dunne's almost been forced to play at right back. We talked about the three centre-backs being in play, and they are, but I think the concern in getting Wright Phillips high up the pitch is forcing Richard Dunne, whether it's deliberate or not, to go and attach himself a little closer to Ryan Giggs.
Distin gets a foot in. Here's Gary Neville. It's Claudio Philip allowing Gary to play it to John O'Shea. United don't get very far from that. McManaman, reminded of his Liverpool pass by some fairly tentative booing. Sibierski, maybe just been seen by Kevin Keegan as more of a big game player. This is Gary Neville. Keane. 10 Manchester derbies and no defeats. O'Shea. Sibierski, cutely done. In the legs of Phil Neville. Now a chance for Shaun Wright Phillips to express himself against Quinton Fortune, who's really had to learn the left-back job this season. But there's someone who's played there before to help him out. In the shape of the versatile Phil Neville, and there's a bit of space here for Keane. Giggs has come in from the left-hand side. Gary Neville's got Ronaldo outside him. He's looked for Van Nistelrooy instead. Still Van Nistelrooy. It's a bit of a international confrontation there. The Dutchman Van Nistelrooy, the Belgian Van Buyten.
Van Buyten looking across to the linesman, who's very, very close to being offside. Fowler is offside, but he always plays on the shoulder. Ruud van Nistelrooy takes a chance in getting caught offside time and time again. As
he's loitering in the the old days would have been a straightforward offside position, Van Nistelrooy, as this build-up goes on. A little bit of difference in the licence of the interpretation of the law now as to when the ball is played. Doesn't get to Van Nistelrooy then. Scholes intervened. But the link-up doesn't work out between Ronaldo and Scholes for Manchester United. It was a German defender, Fronzek, who was a significant figure the last time the clubs met in the FA Cup. It's on this ground 8 years ago. Fronzek gave away a penalty from which Eric Cantona equalised, and Manchester United went on to win. Van Buyten is on loan from Marseille, and he was Marseille's top scorer last season. Mostly headers from set pieces. A bit of kicking the ball away from Gary Neville by Tarnat. He certainly can't be offside from a throw. That hasn't changed, and Van Nistelrooy looking to work that position.
Hasn't quite settled. Up to 10 minutes. Understandable. Not only a big FA Cup tie, but local derby as well. So. And the two players just settling on both sides.
Maybe he would trade all the drama of a cup run in for some league victories. Well, Tarnat is definitely going to get ticking off this time.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's just bouncing and he has a little thrash, but doesn't really make much contact. Word the knee is sufficient.
Silvestre. Fortune. A bit on the short side for Philip Neville, but he's worked it wide to Giggs, and again Richard Dunne right across.
Yeah, they're as good as four at the back. Manchester City at the moment.
Scholes. Fortune's cross. Distin gets ahead to it. Possibly going to pass through to Arason. But Distin couldn't hear a call. That wouldn't be surprising given the decibel count inside Old Trafford. Ronaldo.
Well, he does make it look theatrical and difficult then for referees to be absolutely 100% sure that there was a leg thrown out there.
There's a little bit of justice maybe there, because McManaman, who was penalised in the original decision, was allowed to make an interception, and he didn't seem to make much contact with Cristiano Ronaldo. And here's Reyna. Sibierski looking for Fowler. He's chased in behind Gary Neville. It bounces back off Robbie Fowler. Keane. Fair amount of early sparring in the context of the 5th round of the FA Cup, and the all-Mancunian occasion. Neville, Keane. That's what Joey Barton does well.
He's just played that without looking.
Well, that's the problem. Shaun Phillips was actually back looking after Ryan Giggs, and that's the dilemma for Manchester.
Well, I think they've changed Manchester City. I don't think there's a doubt about that. I think the thing that's influenced them is where Paul Scholes on the ball now is playing, and who isn't playing up top with Ruud van Nistelrooy. You play 3 centre-backs in there, there's no point. It's one too many.
Oh, it's a mistake by one of those 3, Van Buyten. Ronaldo. for Gary Neville, Keane and Scholes. They were strong in the centre there, Manchester City. That's not always been the case this season. Keane really couldn't get too far out of the way. Didn't try to. Play pulled back for a free kick for Barton. Cristiano Ronaldo, incidentally, is in the Portugal squad to face England next Wednesday. And the memories of England-Portugal, Steve McManaman, Euro 2000. It was his goal that made it 2-0 after Scholes had got the first in a match that England lost 3-2. And the manager is on the Manchester City bench.
Yeah.
Dunne. And Ronaldo stretching away from Tarnat. McManaman trying to fill in. There's a thing or two about trickery himself, Steve McManaman, and Ronaldo didn't get the better of the Manchester City man.
Decent responsibility as well. Full-back was left sprawling, filled in behind him pretty well, Steve McManaman. Neither team's really clicked into gear in the attacking third yet.
Clip corner from Giggs, and the team that have been conceding from corners come close to scoring from one with Ronaldo's header.
I mean, I watched Ronaldo just walk in, stand at level with the near post, signal for the ball, and not get picked up. Extraordinary lack of marking there.
He played very well in the fourth round, Ronaldo, but it was Northampton Town. Was Premiership opposition, of course, in round 3 for Manchester United, and they were a goal down at Villa Park. Wright, Phillips. Now Reyna. McManaman. Tarnat, Sibierski. A little touch might have troubled Howard.
Well, I wouldn't stand off Michael Tarnat that easily. I think Ronaldo's got to get closer, quicker. He's got a very, very good left foot.
Scholes making a run. It's a long ball. And Buyten's header drops only for Giggs. Deflects off Dunne. Contact by Wright Phillips, just to buy Manchester City a moment or two to regroup. They've not really been penned back in the opening 15 minutes. Manchester City haven't been particularly fast out of the traps here. Reyna. Nice footwork from Claudio Reyna. It's a risky pass, though. McManaman.
It's just all a little scrappy at the moment, the game.
Michael Tarnat has also a point to make to Manchester United. He was in the Bayern Munich side in that Champions League final. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will he be pleased not to be directly reminded of what Solskjaer did that night in Barcelona?
Is he on the left or right in that picture, Ole?
Van Nistelrooy. Stay in for Giggs. Fortune's cross and Keane's header. It was a ball that was there to be attacked, hit with some pace by Quinton Fortune.
Well, he's better than that as well, Roy Keane. Very, very accomplished in the air, and it certainly wouldn't have fazed him, this ball coming in at that kind of pace. First time crosses on, it's just laid back pretty well. Not his best.
One FA Cup goal for Manchester United, and it was 10 years ago. Dunne. Interception by Fortune. Phil Neville. And Sibierski Working hard from the front. O'Shea. But I feel a bit sorry for Wes Brown. It's been out a long time. Expected to come in straight away and be exactly as he was before all his injury difficulties.
And it takes time, I'm afraid.
Scholes. It might take time for Manchester United here. Ronaldo. Giggs gets ahead to it. And Scholes, Barton jumped with an arm up, might have made contact with the ball. Jeff Winter was well placed to see. Wright, Phillips. Played it behind Joey Barton. Haven't really engaged their front players particularly well, City, to this point, but
no, they haven't used the ball well.
Dunne. Now McManaman. He's back in favour with Kevin Keegan, having spent a spell on the sidelines. He has been a winner here before, Steve McManaman, with Real Madrid.
Well, the two big boys are going up, even from the free kick as far out as this. Both centre-backs, not him, of course. He will be on player cam for the next 15 minutes or so.
He's a credible target. The Belgian. Time that takes. But you can imagine that well, certainly since the Liverpool game, Manchester City have been focusing on this tie and focusing on the apparent Manchester United weaknesses that have surfaced over their last 3 games. 8 goals conceded. Fortune. Scholes. It's Barton that makes Giggs turn and run into trouble. The shape of Reyna. Getting it isn't a problem for Manchester City. Keeping it, though, it's a little harder at the moment. Neville. Van Nistelrooy. Roy Keane. Important stop by Arason.
Well, he did it second half against Tottenham and he started again. The Manchester City goalkeeper, Roy Keane, I think knows that that is a glorious chance. He looks to side foot this one, and I thought he'd just put his foot through it and drill it with some power. He's so close to the goalkeeper. It's a good save, but United should be leading.
Ronaldo. Well spotted by Buyten. McManaman. First real chance of the game. Keane might let it trouble his mind. Well, this plan and platform put out by Kevin Keegan, it asks a lot of Reyna, McManaman. We know about Barton, he'll get his tackles in and work in the centre of midfield, but he needs those allies either side of him, and they've run in behind McManaman there. Gary Neville it was.
I think one area there is a weakness, could be a weakness, is in the left-hand side. Michael Tarnott doesn't really have anyone in front of him, any real support. Manchester United can switch it to Ronaldo quickly. He might get a bit of joy 1v1 against Tarnott.
He's taking a chance there, Van Buyten. There's a little cameo of what this rivalry is all about. It's a free kick to Manchester United at the end of it.
Well, he just dwelt on it, Van Buyten. Took a chance, tested his own ability to play his way out of trouble and almost paid for it, but a free kick has been given.
just past the halfway mark in the first half. Ronaldo's only Manchester United goal came from a free kick a little bit wider against Portsmouth. It found its way in. We've got a better angle for a direct approach from here. There he goes.
Good effort. You can tell the goalkeeper's worried. He's scrambling across goal. That is very, very close. Good whip, good pace, and almost perfect direction. Nearly got back.
Well, Arason understandably had an eye on the other post. Scholes. Just up to the little Manchester United in the last 5 minutes or so. Van Buyten. Neville there before Sibierski.
City haven't been allowed to start, have they? They haven't used the ball well. They've given it away too easily.
O'Shea. McManaman. See where they want to start their attacks from primarily. But Shaun Phillips has actually come infield. Now he's spun away. It was a bit late for Joey Barton, who had to go through the middle in the end, unproductively. Manchester City prepared to just keep their shape, make it difficult for Keane and company to find a pass. And Jeff Winter's given City a free kick.
A little unlucky there. Both the challenge of Van Buyten and Gary Neville's pretty similar. Not a lot between them, but the referee thought Gary Neville overstepped it a little.
The problem for City really has been turning talented players into a tough, competitive outfit. They showed an edge at Leicester. Of course they did at Tottenham. Now those only successes since November the 1st. I think he can be over happy with the way his team have started. Kevin Keegan. Dunne. Outrun by Ryan Giggs. Scholes pulls away.
That was a good race, wasn't it? We know Richard Dunne's quick. We know Ryan Giggs is quick, but Giggs was a little quicker.
Ronaldo, who we know has a very deft touch, hold the ball in very easily. Keane. Scholes wants it to feet. Keane couldn't see the path to it. Phil Neville to Ronaldo. Chance to tease Tarnat again. Back for Gary Neville. Ryan Giggs back post and well tracked by Shaun Phillips.
Well, that's a danger with Tarnat, because you look here at Distin, because there's no protection mark, one of the centre-backs is dragged out, so it does leave a gap at that back post, because Richard Dunne has to come in to mark people.
Keane going near post. Silvestre gets a touch. Van Nistelrooy. Ronaldo. Corner off McManaman. At the moment, and not surprisingly, Manchester United the dominant force. Sibierski helping out. Neville looking for Roy Keane, who eased himself onto the ball at the expense of Distin.
Oh, he's unlucky. He gets a position, stands his ground here. Distin misjudges that totally. It's pretty emphatic possession, but City have done all right protecting their goalkeeper. can only think of one save he's had to make, the one from Roy Keane. And we're almost half an hour into this game. So Kevin Keegan will be fairly happy with that aspect of his game, his team's game, but he will be very disappointed the way they've used the ball and how little they've actually been in this half of the pitch.
Fortune. And Scholes came deep. Roy Keane went forward. And Gary Neville again on the gallop and onside. Richard Dunne has kept his nerve.
I think Joey Barton just switches off here. He tracks Gary Neville so far and just stands. And Distin gets caught, ball watching infield as well. It's a lovely ball in, but just lack of support.
Buyten standing in the middle, playing them onside, playing Gary Neville onside in particular. Collection of corners for Manchester United. And Wright Phillips with a chance to run. Fortune charging back at it. Wright Phillips does well to keep it for City. It's been a problem for them so far in the game. And McManaman only keeps it in for Ronaldo. And suddenly Manchester United turn and threaten and have another corner.
It's just an awful ball that got them in problems. Steve McManaman probably would have been better letting it go out of play. But they're not doing themselves any favours, City, with the use of the ball.
Towards Giggs at the near post. Not sure that was the plan. That's where it ended up from Ronaldo. He's on the ball again. Robbie Fowler having to come back and try and help stem the flow. Keane turns. Reyna there. McManaman there. Oh, that's better passing. McManaman and Fowler on the same wavelength. Reyna has covered a lot of ground to back up the attack. Under challenge, felt he was fouled. Jeff Winter thought not. Reyna. Half an hour gone. Fruitful in terms of possession for Manchester United, but not in terms of taking the lead. Barton. McManaman. Trying to thread it through for Fowler. Sibierski likewise with the header.
That's where they've struggled in that area last third. As soon as they've got anywhere near that Manchester City, they've given it away. They haven't looked like they could find a way through. Haven't looked threatening, really.
And they are without Anelka.
Of course, it's a huge
mention that. 19 goals this season.
I guess it would be a bit like Manchester United being without Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Of course, they've got more non-Anelka games because he's got the three-match ban coming for that red card at Arsenal.
Lovely ball.
Good technique, and it's given Wright Phillips a chance to take on Fortune, but Silvestre across actually made it easy for him in the end, but it had been more challenging. He was in the right place. Keane. And Nistelrooy might have used the upper arm. He's played it as though he expected the whistle to go, but he obviously expected some movement from a teammate that wasn't there.
I don't know what he thought.
Well, they're very much outnumbered. It's a case of too many cooks for United. Keane. And Nistelrooy, the outside of the foot, is very prominent in this attack. Scholes going in. Well, they've been playing well enough to earn a goal, and now they've got it.
Well, it's been coming, hasn't it? Maybe not with chances, but the pressure's been building and building, and yet again, you talked about them. 2 goals in the league match. Look at that little turn round the corner from Keane, and he's been, I think, fantastic for Manchester United. But Reyna's got a problem. Look, he wants to win it, but he almost pulls his foot away from it. Now, whether he does that because he's worried about the own goal, or whether he thinks the goalkeeper's going to get it, you can see the leg come out, went back again. No surprise behind him that Paul Scholes calmly, coolly and effectively gives his side the lead.
It's a local lad in the local derby. And it was a head of steam being built up by Manchester United. And it's now not just hot air. It's substantial. They lead Manchester City by 1 goal to 0.
I mean, it might sound daft, I know, but I think that might be the best thing that could happen to City, because they really have been poor as an attacking force in this first 35 minutes. And it's needed something to shake them out of that. A goal against is that. And I think at half-time, if it stays like this or worse, it's just getting booked down for 4 or 5 offences. You saw Jeff Winter indicate there. But I think Kevin Keegan have plenty to say to his team, as he probably did at Tottenham. He knows what to do and what to say, but they haven't been a patch in the first half, and they will that night.
Phil Neville. And Van Nistelrooy's onside. That pace that you talked about, Andy, that Richard Dunne certainly has, particularly for a big man. But needed it all.
But again, look at the sloppy play there from Manchester City at the back. They have the ball, possession of it. One pass is giving it away, and he's almost through the middle of their defence.
Van Nistelrooy. Scholes. This thing just got to it. Phillips looking for a bit of help. He gets it on the outside from Sibierski.
Well, Manchester City better batten down the hatches a bit at the moment, because Manchester United are looking to put this game beyond them as quickly as possible.
To get involved with anything here, as perhaps Phil Neville saying to Quinton Fortune, is going according to plan for Manchester United. Well, here's a push by Phil Neville. Now here's a chance for the height that Manchester City have, and to see how well Manchester United have been working on the training ground. Again, very short time since Middlesbrough unhinged them on Wednesday here. And Tana is a good taker of a free kick for City. Carroll plays his part. And Ronaldo very much on the run. Manchester City have been on the rack. Pressure by McManaman. And Buyten, who you expect to win the headers. A smashing ball by Philip Neville to Scholes. Giggs joining Van Nistelrooy in the middle. Ronaldo's there as well. Here comes Gary Neville. And Gary Neville beats the ground, and City go to him. 3-4 players. Oh, and now Gary Neville has reacted, and Jeff Winter.
If Jeff Winter saw that, he's off.
Surely he can't fail to have seen it.
I think he's off. If he saw that, he's off.
It hasn't finished yet. It's a major disciplinary issue here in the FA Cup. Kevin Keegan goes down to get his players out of it. First of all, well, he's shown a yellow and then a red for Gary Neville. It wasn't straight red. The yellow for diving, I think, and the red for using the head, but that could have been a red in itself. Manchester United are down to 10 men, and a player brought back, apparently for his composure for their defending, has lost the plot at a time when United were looking comfortably moving towards winning this cup tie.
Well, it might not be finished. This is it. It really does dive there. There's no doubt that. And the incensed Manchester City player, Tarn, got involved, McManaman got involved, Joey Barton got involved, and there's a little nudge there. Saw it quite clearly. So did Jeff Winter. He has no option but to send Gary Neville off. He's now having a chat with the fourth official. There was all sorts going on. I'm sure that the referee didn't see.
Now Tarnat has been booked. He gets another yellow in the episode here.
Joey Barton was involved as well. Now, I don't know what's happening with him.
Now, this is the player who got 2 yellow cards, of course, in the 4th round replay. Surely Barton's not going to go again.
Well, from what we saw, from what we've just seen again on the replay, it was a little push in the chest.
He gets yellow.
Yeah, I thought that. Tarn, that's the one that you'd be worried about for Manchester City, because he definitely got involved in it.
Yes, being cynical, you'd say, well, book Joey Barton and we'll take that caution as a team and get on with it, because we're playing against 10 men.
Yeah. You can't argue with that, can you?
I think what you can do is take issue with Jeff Winter saying that the second one was yellow. But I don't know, maybe the red will be a straight red and the yellow, you know, if you like, three punishments.
I think it will be. I think it was a straight red. I think he more than likely booked him for the dive. He was allowing play to go, Jeff Winter, and probably would have gone back and booked Gary Neville after the play came to a halt. It didn't, of course, naturally come to a halt, so he booked him for the dive, and then I'm convinced it was a straight red, but I guess Jeff Shreves will be able to clear that up at half-time.
Well, now the drama will unfold, because this time it's Manchester City, stars as 10 men themselves. Of course, at Tottenham, they have the supposed advantage.
Well, a game that was just hardly what you would call a local derby.
Sibierski.
Well, a little slow in getting organised, Manchester United here. A decent ball in, but it's just a bit far out for Sibierski. They've had to reshuffle. Phil Neville has got to right back. That's no problem for him there. And they'll just tuck Paul Scholes back in, leave Van Nistelrooy, I guess, up top on his own, the support coming from midfield. But they want to get to half-time now, Sir Alex Ferguson, just so he can set things down, settle his players down. Because there wasn't a threat. They were absolutely dominant in this game. I know it's only 1-0, but they were never in any problem, Sir Alex Ferguson's side. He must have thought, this is as comfortable a 1-0 as I can remember in a local derby. And then, well, losing the head, Gary Neville, first with his dive, which...
Last player sent off in Manchester derby was Roy Keane 3 years ago on this ground as well. Across goes Silvestre. Gary Neville, we're told, only passed the fitness test this morning. He must be regretting that he did pass the fitness test now. I remember seeing him sent off in a game at Tottenham a few years ago now. I think that's his only previous dismissal from Manchester United's senior team. Ronaldo. More live fifth round action tomorrow, 3 p.m. Liverpool against Portsmouth, Sky Sports 1. Steve McManaman in the centre of it all today will remember a semi-final in '92. He became the man of the match in the final when Liverpool, having accounted for Portsmouth and accounted for Sunderland 12 years ago. Here is McManaman. Dunne. Distin. Here's Fowler. He's behind Phil Neville. Robbie Fowler. It's a ever-widening angle.
That was the only thing. Yeah, made it difficult for himself. He should have flashed it across goal. Reyna had just arrived, right on cue, in the 6-yard box.
First sign of how Manchester United might be rattled here. Oh, it's Reyna to hit. Poured away. Too high, even for the big Van Buyten. Came a little slower, I think, than Tim Howard anticipated.
I think it might have got a deflection. That's what affected the path of the ball.
Dunne's wasted the crossing chance. Giggs. Keane won't get it himself. Scholes. 2 added minutes before half-time.
Well, Kevin Keegan's got a talk at half-time as well, really,
again,
because he really has to calm his players down. He must be saying, you know, because it does happen in football, and he'll be thinking, the referee might just even it up, lads, so whatever you do, don't give him a reason to send one of you off. And that's got to be really a big part of his team talk at half-time. Keep 11 players on at all costs, he will be saying.
Yep, be happy birthday for Kevin. 53 today. Versatility of Philip Neville. Great use to Manchester United after the sheer stupidity of his big brother. This is Giggs. This is the team with 10 men. And in goes Ronaldo, it's offside.
Looked off. Don't think there's a doubt. Never gets back out. I mean, he ain't just off. He's a country mile off.
Fowler. Ruud van Nistelrooy will be quite happy working the front line on his own. It's just a case of what support Manchester United can get to him. That will be discussed at half-time. Jeff Winter has sent off Gary Neville after Manchester United were moving smoothly to what would be a normal performance against Manchester City. Paul Scholes marking his 400th Manchester United game with a goal. Roy Keane discussing the dismissal, I'm sure, with Jeff Winter as the players go off. Manchester City, a goal down, but a man to the good at half-time.
Tasty. David James and Gordon McQueen are looking forward to talking about that first half. United lead 1-0, but the story... United down to 10 men. Neville off. Game on.
1-0 up, might have been 2-0 up. Looked as if they were going on in the game and win comfortably. And the whole Gary Neville thing's turned the game on its head.
Player cam, press your red button to go interactive, is with an unpopular player around these parts. A man I suspect with a bit of a bruise. Steve McManaman. Here's Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, here come Manchester City again, out for a second half. in an FA Cup match, trailing, this time by just one. But now, how will they cope with the psychology of having an extra player? They coped brilliantly for Kevin Keegan, a man down at White Hart Lane. There's a lot of this in the mind, Andy, isn't there, because of the past history here as well.
And I'm just looking at Sir Alex Ferguson walking along the touchline, man. He came out and he immediately was punching the air to the fans around behind the goal and the side there, getting them going, because I think he knows he looks angry, he looks annoyed, the Manchester United manager, and he wants the fans to play their part.
Well, this has happened at the end of an erratic spell by Manchester United. Their Premiership performances haven't been to the manager's liking, and now they'll need plenty of FA Cup steel here, even in their own backyard. But it is a real opportunity for Manchester City to seize the initiative. Well, there's no flag by the assistant. Ronaldo had taken the ball out, cleared by Barton.
Certainly a job on for Ronaldo and Giggs, particularly for Manchester United when they have the ball. Two players who are capable of doing what Ronaldo did then and taking the ball lots of yards up the pitch, giving his teammates a little breather, should they need it, of course. But this Manchester United team are good enough to cope with losing a man and keep the ball like they're doing now.
Distin. Sibierski had a good look round to see what had happened and to see whether the referee was going to help him, but he wasn't. Buyten. Fowler letting it run for Sibierski. Shaun, Wright, Phillips looking for support in the centre. It's a little bit late arriving, but it is arriving. It's only picked out the head of O'Shea. Dunne, Sibierski.
Had enough time, but not a convincing attempt from Sibierski. Never looked at it as most comfortable here on his left side. Never threatening the goal, really. It was a lovely break, though, initially. That's what they'll be looking to do, spring Shaun, Wright, Phillips wide on the right here. Just not so sure they'll get as much width on the left. And I think when you have the extra man, I think you have to make the pitch as wide as possible.
O'Shea. Well, they could put McManaman wide on that left-hand side.
I think he's reluctant to go so. He's reluctant to do it. He's reluctant to stay there, Steve McManaman.
I think he's reluctant to go too near the crowd. I think it's fair to say that the Liverpudlians in the Manchester City ranks sent Gary Neville on his way with their best wishes. But Dunne. Right, Phillips. Good turn by Fortune. McManaman definitely central at the moment. Sibierski is tucking it forward for Neville, like the good cricketer that he once was, reading the spin well. A bit of rain in the air. Keane. Good chase by Ronaldo.
And good covering by McManaman. Tarmac again, cut upfield, big gap in behind. He was quick to see it.
Manchester United with a corner. They've lost only one of the last 19 matches against Manchester City. It was relatively recently, last season, the last derby at Main Road. Giggs. Silvestre trying to get there. Tarmac beat him to it. Phil Neville, then Silvestre. Offside, Van Nistelrooy. maybe Ronaldo as well.
Got out well. It's a pretty good line coming out. The ball didn't go that far, but look how quick they're out. No doubt about decision.
Sibierski. Barton has made it to the second half in this FA Cup tie. Well, there was a little bit of doubt about that when he got involved in the Gary Neville episode. Fowler. McManaman. Tarnat to the left. Back into Barton again. Reyna. Dunne. Sibierski, Barton. Fowler fighting for it. Back with Sibierski again. McManaman. Dunne's first time cross is a waste of the patience of the approach work.
And it'll be something like that City are looking to do. Keep possession, work Manchester United across the pitch. The one thing they have to get is better quality than Richard Dunne provided them with there.
Distin, Sibierski. And it's into the back of Fowler by Silvestre. Manchester City have still got the ball. Tarnat. Sibierski. And it's Shaun Wright Phillips who scored here in the Premiership but doesn't score here in the FA Cup.
Lovely football. If he picks this ball out, it's a super ball to Sibierski, but I don't know if that was meant either, whether he was looking for Reyna's run. But he gave the goalkeeper a chance. It was a good height and pretty much straight at him.
Richard Dunne by the near post. And unmarked here, Claudio Reyna. But they got it wrong. And out comes Roy Keane. Here's Ronaldo. Will be a goal kick. Seconds earlier, Shaun Wright Phillips could have been celebrating another Old Trafford goal in his career.
He took his time, let the ball go across onto his strong side, but you see what I mean about being a good height. Pretty much straight at Tim Howard. I would expect him to save that.
Sibierski. Tarnat. Well, it's not just a place in the quarter-final at stake here. The round, incidentally, Manchester United haven't reached since they last won the FA Cup in 1999. Of course, all the local bragging rights as well. And just imagine how, if Manchester United were to win in these circumstances, how painful it would be for City followers. McManaman. Dunne. McManaman's back heel, Wright Phillips. Scholes got the ball, had to, in his own penalty area. Barton.
Unlucky. Well, they're getting a little bit of joy, down this right-hand side with Shaun Wright Phillips and Richard Dunne.
And Buyten. Well, they settled in for possession, Manchester City. They've made one good chance. These are nervous times for Manchester United. Ronaldo showing that he can defend and fought in a composed manner.
But again, it's possession wasted, squandered. No real craft or thought in that ball from Joey Barton when he played it.
Scholes, definitely the midfield man now. Neville. And he got a bad run of the ball then. sent it back to Keane. Sent up at the moment of contact. McManaman. Silvestre. Barton had one eye on him. Free kick given against Fortune.
The only thing I thought Sir Alec might think about at half-time was, I wondered about Nicky Butt. You know, somebody who's been around the block, who knows what's required, particularly in this match and in the cup tie, you know it is. And I wondered about Ronaldo. I mean, if you took him off, Martin, and said, OK, just play the 4 players who know what it's all about in that midfield. You don't really need any great width on the right, because City don't have much width on their own left. So I thought he might have thought about that.
Reyna. Right, Phillips heads on. Comes to Sibierski. But this is what Ronaldo does give them, a chance to get out. Yeah. And I'm sure later on, if it stays 1-0,
that might well happen.
Shorter period to defend. The risk, of course, a change now, and with Nicky Butt on, they didn't concede a goal. He waits and wonders, as does Thiago Forlán. Wes Brown, Carroll.
I just wondered about that chance from Sibierski. As it was dropping, I'm thinking, let it drop and volley it, hit it. But he opted to take it early with a header. It never really troubled anyone.
Free kick not taken from the right place. Jeff Winter was having a word with McManaman. Joey Barton playing it back and being sporting in doing that. Almost hit the referee. You saw the funny side of it.
I remember he got hammered with one at Anfield, I think, one night. You were there, didn't you, Jeff Winter?
Or was he just hammered by you?
No, he definitely got hammered with the ball.
Van Nistelrooy. It's good play by the front man for Manchester United. Ronaldo. Scholes. Super wing play from Roy Keane. It's that type of talent and attitude, especially attitude in adversity, that means so much to Manchester United. In a strange way, he'll be reveling in this. What a win it would be. Not exactly tight on John O'Shea and Silvestre. Right, Phillips. Fowler. Can wait for support. He's got McManaman really urging himself forward on the outside. There. Reyna's got into the middle. Back towards Fowler's feet again. Doesn't get there. Yeah. Deflection that helps City. Dunne. It's a better cross. Sibierski. Oh, what a save!
What a save
from Barton by Howard.
Well, as the last one I thought he should have saved, he's maybe got no right to save this one. That's a fantastic effort from Barton at the back post. It's got goal written all over it. What a magnificent save.
Turn up with the corner. Distin just brushed his eyebrows. McManaman. Right, Phillips. Flag was up. Didn't realise. But it was a magnificent stop.
Well, they're getting plenty of players forward, Manchester City. And this is a great effort. Controlled the volley. I mean, from that distance, it's a pure instinct from the goalkeeper. But what a strong right arm it is here to get it up and away. Fabulous stuff.
It was a very good header by Antoine Sibierski to give Barton a chance. Blue Moon is being booed. That's the City anthem being drowned out at Old Trafford. But can Manchester City fire be put out by the 10 men of Manchester United? We've seen some acts of heroism already. Van Nistelrooy. And Giggs charging through. Dunne sees him off.
He wants a corner. Not so sure it was, but it was a lovely break, and this is what City have to guard against. Good play from Van Nistelrooy, good vision, and great support play from Ryan Giggs. Looks a goal kick. You just wonder if it skips up next to Richard Dunne. Doesn't.
It's definitely a goal kick.
Manchester City have played well. Where they were so poor with their use of the ball first half, they've been much, much better. I know they have the extra man, but it isn't always the case that you can play better. They have done. They've used it better. They've worked the ball across the pitch better, and they've created chances. There's a testing half hour coming up from Manchester United.
Lovely play between Giggs and Keane. They're keeping their cool. Experienced players on a day when Gary Neville played more than the 400 games that Paul Scholes has reached today. And he lost his head and used his head in the same moment. O'Shea, half an hour to go. Never been a replay in the FA Cup between Manchester United and Manchester City. Scholes. Van Nistelrooy pulling away from Distin. Jeff Winter spreads his arms, waves away the penalty shouts.
Yeah, I think he was just strong, Van Buyten. There's no real plea from anyone else. I watched Ryan Giggs right beside the referee, not interested. I always think players' reactions are good to watch. Van Nistelrooy doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
Sibierski, Fowler, it's McManaman! Manchester United were cut apart then. Sibierski going in, well watched by Silvestre.
Well, they've carved him wide open. Absolutely wide open with a little one-touch footballing. Well, that was tentative. A tentative prod from Steve McManaman.
Well, it was more a miss than a save.
No.
Dunne. Reyna. Sibierski out tackling Keane. Dunne. Sweeps it in again. Tarnat will hit Robbie Fowler. This is a shame for City. Well, let's go back first of all to Jeff Winter's penalty assessment here.
Well, he's got a really good view of this, but you see what I mean about Van Buyten. There's a tackle there, and both players are going over. It's not a penalty in my opinion. The referee gets that absolutely right. But you can see where the referee is. He sees the ball. There's the tackle. He sees that. He's not interested. I think he's right.
Well, that could well have been seen as a push by Distin. Again, Van Nistelrooy not complaining. And now at least it's consistency from Jeff Winter, because he could have called that one in favour of Wright Phillips and didn't. He's going to give that one against Roy Keane. Joey Barton, who looks up to Keane and would love to become half the player that Roy Keane has been, and has all the attributes to do just that and maybe more. Free kick to Manchester City. Michael Tarnat to take it. Fowler. Keane was behind him. Distin. McManaman. Fowler. There's still plenty of time left, but will Manchester City rue this from Steve McManaman?
Well, I just thought he could have done anything here, Martin, except that. You could see that. It's not a convincing finish this, is it? You know,
it is a dropping ball, to be fair.
No, but players of this quality, you know, it's not a difficult volley. You really put your foot through that. It was a little tentative side foot prod.
Do you remember that goal he got for England against Portugal in Euro 2000? That was a volley, and he whipped it in. He'd love to have had the same sort of contact here. I'm sure you'll see it again in the build-up to England's trip to Portugal on Wednesday. No England squad as yet, but I'd be surprised if Steve McManaman was in it.
No, so would Steve McManaman.
But talking of Portugal, and as we mentioned in the first half, he is looking to add to his 2 senior caps already. Still only 19, only just 19 in fact. And you can follow him if you're a Sky Digital viewer via the red button on your remote.
Well, it's certainly getting worked. I mean, the defence has been getting a bit of criticism in the last couple of games. And at the moment, with the help of some pretty good goalkeeping, they're managing to keep a clean sheet.
Giggs, scorer in a poll of the greatest ever FA Cup goal.
Yeah, can't remember that.
At the expense of Arsenal, if you're wondering. I'm sure you're not. Trouble for Tarnat, and maybe trouble for Manchester City. Ronaldo. It's a corner they've got to deal with.
Well, they've got to be careful. It's good closing down, but Tarnat gave him a chance. He had ample opportunity to clear that, and he didn't. That might not have been a corner either.
Keane. Back with Ronaldo again. With the dancing shoes. Tarnat eventually gets his team out of the harm that he put them into.
Well, you look at what Kevin might do, Kevin Keegan that is, and what has he at the bench? He's obviously got Jon Macken there. That would be an obvious choice if you're looking for a little bit of support, somebody who might get you a goal. Kevin saying he was unlucky, Macken to be left out.
Well, he got them the goal in the replay win at Leicester, and of course he got them the winning goal at White Hart Lane. Fortune didn't have to try and get out of the way, and he certainly didn't try to get out of the way when he's on all fours. Phillips couldn't hurdle him. Distin. McManaman, a fetcher and carrier here. It's the role that he ended up playing at Real Madrid.
Well, they can get the ball to this position at will. But it's that sort of thing.
For Dunne.
You know, they can get the ball there, Manchester City, time and time again. 25, 30 yards from goal. And to be fair to them, they have created 1 or 2 excellent opportunities.
Ronaldo has played his part in the work ethic that they've needed with 10 men. Keane calling in the build-up to this game for more of what is needed to be a Manchester United player. Is well found by Fortune. Giggs. Been in good voice, particularly since they went down to 10 men, Manchester United, but we know time is ticking away. We're into the last quarter now. Reyna, Sibierski. Barton. McManaman. Back for Joey Barton again.
They get it there, 30 yards from goal, and it's choices then. Best players get the choices right more often than not. That's what Manchester City have to do. Plenty of attempts, can't argue with that. Most of those, the majority, vast majority, second half attempts as well. And they've worked the goalkeeper.
Distin. That's a straight header for McManaman. Giggs, Van Nistelrooy. And Distin. Handball shouts. Appeals for goal kick.
It's everything going around. I think he just tries to play it in. It might have at some time or other hit the arm, dead off his foot, but penalty? Don't think so.
O'Shea makes the first run and is unmarked. Nistelrooy gets a boot to it, and Buyten gets a head to it. And then O'Shea can steer it wide to Cristiano Ronaldo. And Nistelrooy! The 10 men have made it 2-0. Never write off Manchester United.
Well, Robbie Fowler and Cole are thinking free kick here, but not from that mark. Just watch as the ball goes outside the box and Keane and Fowler go for it. Bounces up, the foot comes up. Robbie Fowler immediately looks round thinking that's a free kick, doesn't get it. But what a ball this is again. And City just don't deal with it. He did it late on against Everton, Cristiano Ronaldo, and he found his mate at the back post for a winning goal late on. Might not be the winning goal, but it gives Manchester United a bit of relief. Goal poacher supreme. Johnny on the spot. Sir Alex Ferguson a lot more comfortable now.
And even though it was close in, it took a bit of finishing because the ball bounced up. Giggs it was had gone near post. And might well have been celebrating his goal if he'd made real contact. But round the back, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Well, now Manchester City have to find the sort of heroism that they had in the second half at White Hart Lane. And McManaman's miss, or miss-hit, should we say, does come into even sharper significance. And the save from Howard from Barton's volley. Sibierski.
What it does show you is if you put the ball into the right area from wide, it is at times almost impossible if you're a defender to deal with it.
So Alex Ferguson will celebrate a 50th win as a manager in the FA Cup if Manchester United get success today against the club that he got his first win against back in 1987, and what was a third-round tie. Fortune. Past Sibierski. Almost dismissed him with disdain. Oh, what a save by Arason, but in goes Ronaldo. It's 3. Giggs with the shot, Arason with the save, Ronaldo with the goal. And Manchester United, a man light, are now running riot.
Great ball again. And all the damage is done wide again from Manchester United. 3 goals from 3 balls into the box. Lovely play. Skips past Sibierski far too easily here. No, it's a token gesture, but the goalkeeper doesn't get any luck. It's a quite stunning save. You talk about a good hand to get it up and away. He didn't really have it there. He stops it, but can only just help it into the air. And Ronaldo pretty much seals this game. Right there and then.
Well, he made the second, the significant goal. He scored the third. As you see, only his second Manchester United goal in his first season here. And I bet they're glad they kept him on, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
McManaman. And what will this do to Manchester City? Fowler. I suppose Tottenham fans will be thinking, well, it might revive them. But it's looking like more Old Trafford misery. And Ronaldo has them dancing to his tune again.
Showboat time. Certainly for 20 minutes in this half, it was anything but for Manchester United. They were pinned back for decent spells and had to hang on in many ways to that 1-0 lead. But there is a difference in the quality at the moment at the top end of the pitch, and I think that's been shown today.
Depleted, but certainly not diffused. And Buyten to Dunne. McManaman, flag up against Fowler.
City's big mistake in the match is not getting a goal when Kevin Keegan's side were on top. An excellent 20 minutes at the beginning of this second half. 3 or 4 excellent chances. That man made a couple of very big saves and a couple of less than convincing attempts from a couple of City players, and they didn't get the goal. And then Ronaldo's cross and then his goal have pretty much sealed the game.
It's gloom plus for Manchester City. The scenario was set out for them in the second half to take advantage of Gary Neville's momentary madness, to take advantage of an extra man, to lay some Old Trafford ghosts. And it looks like, well, it's almost certainly Old Trafford agony again. Reyna, McManaman, Barton. Now Reyna. No flag against Fowler this time. Looking for a longer throw. But Dunne. Distin. Tarnat! They've got one back. Surely not, Andy, surely not.
Do you believe in miracles?
In the FA Cup, I believe in miracles. Manchester City must believe in miracles here.
Well, this is where Ronaldo switches off. Look at the back post. He just has no interest in defending it. He just watches the ball. He allows Tarnat to just almost walk in behind him. And he's got too good a left foot, the German, not to take this chance. See, that was convincing. That was meant. Unlike McManaman's earlier, what I thought was, well, again, a tentative one.
Supreme adversity. Manchester City again find some strength, but Ronaldo, it's a good tackle by Van Buyten. And a good interception by John O'Shea. Giggs played onside by Dunne. It's 3 against 1. It's not quite that now. Well, we're going to see some extraordinary shapes, I think, to counter-attacks, but Manchester City have simply got to go for it. They were short of numbers at the back then. They can at least regroup as Tarnat. Got to be very careful. He was cautioned early in the game.
He was, and you don't want to see it. It's easy to say, but players around the referee there telling him exactly that, trying to influence Jeff Winter. But that's the nature of the game we're watching.
Well, vis-a-vis the offside law. Ruud van Nistelrooy, need to see him in a wider context, really. Loitering with intent. Round the back goes Keane! Van Nistelrooy! Well, he scores It's 4-1. They've risen to the challenge again.
Yet again, they don't deal with the cross. I just wonder if he gets back onside and that ball's played. It's borderline again. That great recovery from Roy Keane. Rescues that ball, makes it his. I don't see why that isn't offside, I have to say. It's a good response, isn't it? The goal just made you wonder, City's goal that is, whether there was any possible way back. Surely now that has shut the door firmly in their faces.
Well, we talked about a miracle, offside or not, the miracle really is Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
But it's got to be questionable. I mean, he's in there, the ball's gone over him in the first place. Distract, deceive.
He's in there to score a goal. Everyone in a free kick goes in the box is there to score a goal.
But Paul Canadine, with all sorts of pieces of paper, I'm sure, to read it and briefings to attend. Keith Hackett, who is the man in charge of refereeing at the moment, is at the game today. All right, it is a fourth goal in a 4-1 scoreline, but with 10 minutes left, City have just scored. It is an important moment in the match.
It's a big important moment as well. Ruud van Nistelrooy hasn't gotten up in that last challenge. And if there's one player that Sir Alex Ferguson wouldn't want any damage to, it would be a star striker. Look, concern is there, you can see it. And it'll be a case of any doubt, get him off. I'm sure that was instructions.
Well, of course, Sir Alex Ferguson has to decide after this game which of his players will be fit enough to go off on international duty. Van Nistelrooy, for the record, now has 4 goals in 4 Manchester derbies.
Just landed awkwardly, didn't he?
Robbie Fowler would do as well to keep facing the pitch. Van Nistelrooy. Keane keeping going. Couldn't quite connect that.
He's been great again, Manchester United skipper. He really
just doesn't lose Merseyside derbies. He doesn't lose too many FA Cup games as well. Brilliant tackle, Giggs. It could be 5, it could be a hat-trick, but Van Nistelrooy maybe not quite in full working order. Couldn't take it in towards goal. Ronaldo gets a very big slice on the left footer.
That's so typically Roy Keane. This late in the game, 4-1 up, but did he give that ball up? You better believe he didn't. Just sat up for Van Nistelrooy here, took a little bobble, didn't help the control. And this went for a throw-in, would you believe that shot?
And there's Scholes getting in the face of Joey Barton. One relieved Manchester United player. One very successful Manchester United player again today.
Well, he's got 2 goals today. And I think if you add up the distance from goal of both of them, combined wouldn't be more than 3 yards.
It's always the best place to get a chance in, isn't it? Barton. Reyna.
But the failing of Manchester City has been conceding too many goals. You look at the record, it's not a great one. And that's where they've got most of their problems. And they haven't, again, defended balls played into the box well enough. I know they've been difficult, and I've said at times that sometimes they're almost impossible to deal with. But deal with them you have to at times, and City haven't done. And 4 times they've conceded.
Fortune. Here's Reyna. Dunne. Here's Barton. It's caught by Keane. The free kick within range for Manchester City. There'll be another chance for Tarnap to show the power in his left foot. Just 5 minutes left. Fowler takes a quick one and scores from it. Howard didn't see it coming quickly enough. Very quick thinking by Robbie Fowler.
Again, there's such a lot of confusion about whether you're allowed a quick free kick or not. Robbie Fowler's obviously asked him, and he steps away. There you go. But that's no warning to the goalkeeper, I have to say. I've got a lot of sympathy. I know we're saying the attacking side should always get the advantage, but we do feel for the goalkeeper in a situation like that. But he stepped away, Jeff Winter, and that's the signal to anyone watching that he's allowing a quick one.
Well, it's another twist to the drama, if not quite a sting in the tail. McManaman. Dunne. Good angle for a cross here. Sibierski's very good in the air. Not quite good enough or accurate enough.
I tell you, it's not a bad header. I mean, Richard Dunne has so much of the ball second half, and this time he does produce a quality cross. I think that's beaten Tim Howard. Otherwise, he's confident it's going wide. Oh, he doesn't know the goalkeeper, does he? He's beaten.
But it just tells you, Andy, the significance of that last Ruud van Nistelrooy goal and the question mark that will be raised about it.
Well, that's, you know, my feeling on it. If he doesn't get himself back on side,
that can't be another phase of play that quickly.
It isn't another phase of play. It's a load of rubbish they're talking about, another phase of play. Doesn't exist. He's in the middle of the goal, and if he, as long as he gets back on side before the ball's played, fine. But he didn't. So he must be offside. I just don't understand it.
Oh, I think it was a mistake. Here's Barton. Distin. Fowler. Oh. He's frustrated with everything at the moment, Robbie Fowler.
I think if that was on his left side, it might have had a different result. But it just goes to show, you said that. I mean, Manchester City have had enough opportunities in the second half to be even closer than 4-2.
It's Ryan Giggs who gives way for Nicky Butt to come on and just try and put out the remaining fire that Manchester City is showing here.
And it might be the case as well that, as I said, Richard Dunne has an enormous amount of the ball on this right-hand side. He might have just told Nicky Butt just to go in there and just block it off in front of Quinton Fortune in the last few minutes of this game.
Reyna. There's 2 more goals conceded by Manchester United, but 2 goals conceded when they're down to 10 men. Keegan's old club, Liverpool, in action on Sunday against Portsmouth. Again, 5th round of the FA Cup. You can see it live, Sky Sports 1. 30 years ago, Liverpool won the FA Cup when Kevin Keegan scored twice in that final against Newcastle. McManaman. It's Barton on the right this time. Not doing duty on the left. Gone out. Phil Neville's got a problem. Sibierski.
What a chance. Maybe not even from the header, but the support he's got here, if he's aware of it. I mean, Nicky Butt should do better there. But the ball in, It's a free header, 12 yards. He had good support all around if he wants to note it down to anyone. But he took the header on. Oh, not bad. Attempts at goal from Manchester City. Over half of them on target.
Right, Phillips. Reyna. Similar to the flick from Keane, which helped pave the way to Manchester United's opening goal.
But anywhere will do for Manchester United at the moment. See it out. That'll be the work to Alex Ferguson's team. 2 minutes of stoppage time, they've got to see out.
Silvestre. Let's get across the ground well, Joey Barton, to get his challenges in. We talk about closing down, but you've got to have the speed to be able to do it, not just the attitude. And Wes Brown is coming on for Phil Neville in stoppage time. He goes off to a claim, unlike his brother earlier in the day. Well, of course, I'm going to need Wes Brown. Gary Neville will get a 3-game ban for violent conduct. We heard Ferdinand telling us earlier in the day, he's still a few weeks away from hearing the results of his appeal. And surely, whatever happens, won't allow him to start playing again straight away. So there are some consequences of a difficult nature from this day, which has had so much positive in the end for Manchester United. Sibierski. Tim Howard has had some terrific contributions. They talk about him maybe not looking such a good goalkeeper recently with the difficulties of those defending in front of him. He's looked a very good goalkeeper in the second half.
The one save from Joey Barton could easily have been a pivotal one. 1-0, but they got City level at the time they really were on top.
But Keane still buying Manchester United a bit more time, and they're only dealing in seconds now before the final whistle. Fowler, Sibierski. Fowler won't get it. Yes, he does, and Sibierski puts it to Robbie Fowler. He couldn't run it through, then Reyna's there. And Van Buyten. Silvestre scraping it away. They've won it. Red, the Valentine Day colour in Manchester. 2 goals from Ruud van Nistelrooy as Manchester United got big with 10 men. So Alex Ferguson gets his 50th FA Cup win in difficult circumstances against the club that he first saw Manchester United beat as their manager back in 1987. City's Old Trafford hurt goes on. Tim Howard made some vital saves after Gary Neville had been sent off for headbutting Steve McManaman before half-time. United 1-0 up then. Paul Scholes had celebrated his 400th Manchester United appearance. There are big rewards here. A place in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the first time for 5 years. An extension of the local bragging rights as well, though those will be up for grabs again next month when United make their first visit to the City of Manchester Stadium in the Premiership. Extraordinary game. Manchester United 4, Manchester City 2.